Alright guys, welcome back to the channel again. We're looking more at FM18. So excited for the release of the game next week. The beta is expected to be Friday, if not earlier, if Twitter, FM Supremo Miles Jacobson is to be correct. So it got me thinking about some of the rule changes that UEFA have got planned, and indeed the Premier League have enforced this coming season. So UEFA have got some changes coming in from 2018. You expect them to be in the game, so at the end of this coming season, and the Premier League have got straight in with some rule changes, only minor tweaks, but they might explain just something that we've seen, or I've noticed, or rather a few people have noticed in the graphical engine releases that we've seen so far. So to start with, in the Champions League, minor changes. The top four finishes qualify now for group stage automatically. So as it was at the moment, the team finishing in fourth place in the Premier League would have to play a playoff, and that was always the way it was seen. But in the top four ranked leagues, so that's probably going to be your Premier Leagues, your La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga or Ligue 1, they qualify straight away. So that playoff is gone. There is going to be no will we get through to that knockout, or rather the group stage, after we finish in the fourth position? No, you're straight in. Historical success also adds to the coefficient calculation, and I believe this is any winner, doesn't matter when it was, even if it was 20 years ago. It's a little bit iffy on the website, it's a little bit vague. They'll get a coefficient boost based on, and it'll be weighted as well, so Champions League or European Cup wins versus Europa Leagues and UEFA Cup wins, of course. They'll be ranked. So if you're a team that's had a bit of a downtime in Europe for 10 years and you've not actually been in it, but you've got a lot of pedigree in the past, then you're going to get a coefficient boost, which is obviously going to help your group ranking. So it's going to help, isn't it? It's definitely going to help, because you're not going to be automatically fourth seed. You're going to be perhaps second seed if your team that you're managing has already won a couple of European Cups in the 70s. I believe that's the way it's going to work. We'll see if it's in the game. We don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm sure somebody does. Somebody's done the coding. So what are the rule changes in the Premier League? These are quite minor and insignificant. Diving bans. It'll be interesting to see if these are in Football Manager. No one, as far as I'm aware, has mentioned these diving bans retrospective. Obviously, will they be in there? I mean, diving is in the game, but it's not really prevalent. Players very rarely get booked for it. Occasionally you'll get, that was surely a dive in the commentary. We'll see if it has any weight. It'd be interesting to see if it is. Obviously, a diving ban can upset a team's balance if it's a certain player, Dele Alli perhaps, that kind of thing. Pitch patterns have been banned. Now, someone did point out that a lot of the footage that we're seeing, the pitches look a bit dull, and this might be the reason. If the pitch patterns are banned, as they are, then they can't have the diamonds and the shapes. So you can see here, these are from the latest video as it is today. I'm on the match day experience, and you can see the pitch work is pretty plain. It's very, very dull, isn't it? It's very green. I mean, you've got a checkerboard on that final snap, but ultimately there's not really. I mean, you think of Leicester, don't you? You think of Leicester with all that diamond work that they had going on during their Premier League champions season, and indeed last season as well. So they're going for a plainer approach, and we might see that reflected in FM, in the match engine itself, in the graphical match engine. So that might explain why the pitch work, it perhaps isn't as advanced as maybe it could be. Who knows? Again, it's pure speculation on my part. So there's just some real changes that I think will be interesting to see if they are in the game. Obviously, the Champions League ones, that's the pinnacle of playing of managing in Europe, or should I say. So it's important to know those, and the majority of us are going to, at some point, play, or manage rather, in the Premier League. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially those diving bans, whether or not they'll have a factor. Okay, well, I'll be hopefully ready for FM18. I want it to come out today. It's not going to. So fingers crossed it's out this time next week. I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.